Alright, let's do the last map of Black Diamond. Not Blood Diamond. I got it wrong last time. Or maybe that was the first time I got it right. Whatever. We're up to the last map. Here we go. Certainly the most challenging of the bunch. If only for the first arena fight. So I like this little strategy I do here, where I get all three shotguns at once. This part looks really hectic, but if you can just get out of here alive and maybe pick up some shells, you're good. So if you look at the Blood Diamond Doom World page, as you should play this, it's good. You will find people complaining about this map. And two reasons they complain about it. One being three. There are a couple things people didn't love. One, the incidentals fights just weren't particularly interesting. You know, fair enough, whatever. Another is the end fight wasn't super climactic, and the other was Green Skull Key is really hard. And I remember Raven Like a Desk said, it just seems kind of random. And that's what I thought at first as well. This isn't like a call-out video for Raven, of course not. I just found what I think is a fairly consistent strategy, and the reason that I think it's consistent is that I actually screw it up in this run, and it still works. So, it's a pretty classic setup. You have Revenants, you have a Cyber Demon, you don't have enough space or time or damage to kill the Revenants. You're gonna have to do infighting, right? So the obvious solution is just run around until they infight, right? And that's what I was trying for a while. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And I think that's why it feels so random. But then when I started doing it the way that I do in this run, it worked most of the time. So we'll get to that when we get to it. Though one thing that made it harder than it really needed to be was only having green armor for that part, which is pretty rough. I didn't really share the thing about not liking the incidental combat. I think the incidental combat here is fine. Obviously, the incidental combat is like never going to be the highlight of a map. That's not what it does. But I thought it served the role fine. It has some verticality, some cover. It looks nice. You know, what more are you asking for? Incidental, right? I didn't say what my strategy is going to be for the Revenants. You'll see that when we get there. Plasma. I try to be a little fancy with the weapon swaps, you know. Coming from Doom Eternal as my first Doom game, you know, I'm always looking for very minor optimizations with the weapon swaps. Or I'll switch to the weapon I want as it starts. Okay, so Cyber Demon's on the right, Arachnotron's going to be on the left, Revenants are going to be like more left. My strategy was shoot the Revenants first, and I guess while we're paused, I'll check if audio's working at all. Yep. With the rocket from cover. I don't know why it worked, but it did. So if I stand behind this cover and then shoot the Revenants, just a little bit, like literally just, what, 5 rockets, that somehow helps. I don't know why, but it works. And then over here, this is the part I messed up. What I'm supposed to do right now, just use all of the plasma that I have, okay? But watch what I do. I switch to the rocket launcher, and then I'm like, oh no, since I did that, I have to run because I don't have time now that I'm swapping weapons. I'm an idiot. Just chill back here with that plasma and spam them out. Or if they're really far, you can use rockets. And even though I kind of screwed up the strategy, I didn't use plasma right, we still survived. So I do think that this fight is more consistent than it looks. It's just really weird. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just don't understand properly, but shooting the Revenants somehow made them infight more consistently. Maybe it just killed enough of them that it helped, and there was a very particular number of Revenants. Like, usually when there's so many enemies, you just think of it as a mass, but that's not always true. Sometimes you actually do need to kill 2 or 3, and it makes a difference. Whatever the case, doing it that way was way more consistent. And you can see, this is like 100 attempts. Most of them died early, but a lot of them died here. As you can see, telefrag for the Cyber Demon, of course. But doing it this method was more consistent. I don't really understand why, but it worked out. Alright, I do admit we could have not had these helmets, but whatever. We could have just had the arena. But like, what, am I going to complain? Oh, I just shoot another couple imps. I think I'm just clued in that some people didn't necessarily love the incidental fights, so to be overly critical. Like, it's fine. This fight I actually did die a couple times. Oh, by the way, secret here, which is really nice. It's blue armor. So this fight has a bunch of different types of enemies. My strategy is kill the Arachnotrons because they are the fattest, the most space you're getting per damage, so we can free up space earlier. Hang out there for a bit, so I'm luring enemies in that direction, and then I'm going to go to the opposite side once the enemies are on said opposite side. So I'm luring enemies towards me right now, and then I'm going to go to the other side. If I die in this fight, it was always because I didn't stay long enough on the other side. Otherwise, it's not too bad. There are also some pain elementals, but the pain elementals are really hampered by all of the items around. They're just not able to get those lost souls to move. Yeah, see how the lost souls can't really pass those rocket boxes? I think they fixed that in Doom 64. I actually don't know. I haven't played Doom 64 that much that I know that type of info. I'll speed through this a little bit. So here's the dream for the next fight. Next fight is actually pretty short, but there's a soul sphere at the start. If I'm feeling a little nasty, you can skip the soul sphere and then pick it up after the fight to go into the final battle of the map set with a soul sphere, with an extra soul sphere. And that's what I choose to do here. So I take the ammo in the back because I'm going to be at the front. And then when I wake up those vials, I'm going to be on the left. So all of the revenants and stuff are on the left, and they're not shooting at me from the middle. Did that actually work? Not really. The Archvial managed to not die. Keep an eye out for the blue Aphrit, which also managed to not die. And we're almost dead somehow. But we got through it. I don't know if there's a point of no return or what, but you should have 326 kills before the final encounter. So whether there's a point of no return doesn't really make a difference, because I know how many kills I need. It's 326. Usually what I remember is just the last digit, because the odds that I would be off by a multiple of 10 is very, very small. I've actually never had that happen. Okay. Let's take the mega armor. Okay. Before this starts, I'm just going to say there are two parts. There are the flying enemies in the direction I'm facing. There are two Manx to the left wall, and then there are a bunch of Manx on the right walls and revs on the back walls. Strategy is shoot the Manx, get rid of those. Again, size versus health. Manx are very fat, so you get a lot of space. They're also very threatening. But here's a little complaint I have, and this did happen to me on attempt like 20. I don't know, I guess I just got lucky. And then this was like 80 attempts later. It's not a glitch, but I'll talk about it more when we get to it. Here we go. Get those Manx. And remember, there's no backpack, so doing my best to not waste ammo on pickups. Obviously, higher priority to pain elementals. I think a Caco Cloud is usually a nice way to end the map set. Maybe I'm just sunlust pilled, but I think it works quite well. And then we just got some revs to clean up. Nothing crazy. Okay. Look at the step to the left. In that attempt I was talking about, I tripped over that step just in the movement, dodging the revenants, and that spawned in the archvials that show up. And that's really bad, and then I died. So be careful if you're playing it. I don't know if I would call that an oversight exactly, but it was annoying. I just went up there by accident in my movement. Like, it wasn't, oh, I'm trying to skip stuff. And that spawned in a lot of archvials. I probably could have possibly survived, but it wasn't that realistic. Yeah, so pay it. Look, and now I get the extra soul sphere, which is awesome because I saved it earlier. Look how quickly the revenants spawn. See, just from being... Okay, maybe I just suck, because that wasn't even that far back. And it's just some revenants, you know, nothing crazy, some archviles. These archviles might actually be more threatening if... I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if they had barons? It's always cool fighting revenants with height difference. And just a cyber demon to close it off. Checking my backside, making sure that we're not screwed. If I go to the left, up, 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 and there we go. That is... Oh, I was so scared I was gonna fall off here. A cool little text thing at the top there. I can see it. So there we go. That is Black Diamond. A cool little map set. 5 maps. All very nice. It's good. You should try it. Consistent theme. Relatively consistent difficulty, I thought. Nothing was super crazy. Yeah, it's Blood Diamond. You look that up on Doomworld, you will find it. I'm thinking about. And before we close off, I just want to see going in. Oops, wrong button. If I just load in the map, comp level 9, it's on Boom, warp 5. Let's do it no monsters actually. Do we see that issue that I was talking about? Alright, where are we? Okay. Okay, so here's the problem that I had, okay? Listen very carefully. You heard it? There it is, right? It is pretty early on the stairs. So you can imagine, you know, you're fighting the revenants. It's like, oh, pop, 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 bang. And then you step over here. Oh, I just triggered the revenants. And then you die. It was a little sad when that happened all the way at the end. Also, there does seem to be a way out. I saw the elevator scroll up at the end. Okay, cool map. I just wanted to point that out.